You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 126, Hating Your Ex. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, breakup coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. All right, my brave hearts, I will not lie. I was the one to genuinely believe that hating my ex would be easier than loving him. Hating him meant that what he did was not okay, and that maybe at some point the wrong he did would be made right. Is anyone else with me? Anyone else? Can anyone else raise their hand and agree with that? Now, a year and a half went by, right? And I still felt like ass. And no one arrived at my door saying, "I'm so sorry he did that to you. Let me make sure he pays for what he's done." And I should split that into two, because there are people that said, "Sorry he did that to you," but no one was like, "Let me make sure he pays for what he's done." Right? And honestly, that wouldn't have made it any better. There was nothing that anyone else could have done to make it better. And there was even nothing that he could have done. Even if he came back saying sorry and I'm going to do everything differently and I still want to be with you, that doesn't change what happened. And I know who I was at that time, and I would have for sure made problems out of it, and we wouldn't have progressed and we would have been in the same spot just years later. So the interesting part is that while I was spending my time hating someone, I was the one that was experiencing the hate, the anger, the resentment, and the negative emotion, not him. And I think the main problem with this whole concept is that we think that if I don't hate my ex, I have to love him. But throughout coaching so many of you, I've realized that that's not true. We could feel neutral about him. We could feel indifferent about him. We could still disagree with what and how he handled the situation, while also redirecting that hate to something we love. Let me explain that further. We don't have to turn that hate into love for our ex, but we can focus the energy and the time and the resources we pour into hating him into something we actually love. What? Now, I thought about why hating him, quote unquote, works, because I genuinely also was someone who believed that hating him was working. It's better than loving someone who doesn't want to be with me. Now, we think we feel justified when we hate on our ex, and trust me, I get it. I was the first in line for this train, my brave hearts. I'm saying this all with love because I was there. I would literally get a hit of dopamine complaining about it and talking shit about it to other people. But really think about this. At the end of that conversation, are you calm, feeling good about yourself, good about the situation? I was not. I was so riled up. I was spinning instead of feeling grounded. And there was nothing I could do about the situation. I just felt like ass, and the people around me also felt miserable. I was the one feeling hate, not him. And the more time I spent hating, the more people around me, when I would talk about it, felt not great. And this is what I would consider, quote unquote, losing a breakup. In my mind, someone who's losing their breakup is always experiencing hate and anger and resentment. They're spending more time analyzing and looking at what he's doing, right? Not only what he did in the situation, but what he is doing in his life now. And that is no way to live. That is what I would consider losing your breakup. The way I now see hating on my ex was I was standing on the sidelines complaining about the game. but I had never actually played the game, right? Coming back to football, which everyone knows I am so, knowledgeable in. Just kidding. JK. It's like those people who complain or hate on other people but have never tried what they're doing. Like if we were at a football game and I was complaining about how the kicker kicked the ball, and it's like, Dorothy, have you ever kicked a football? Have you ever kicked a football in front of millions of people? Like, why are you talking about that? Why are you hating on that? And that's what I see. Like, that is how I relate how I was hating on my ex before. I was like complaining about all the things that he did. I was complaining about who he was being and what he was doing in his current life. And by doing that, I was spending more time analyzing him living his life than me living my life. How could I be talking about what he's doing wrong in his life when I wasn't spending any time living mine? I was analyzing the way he was kicking the ball, and I had never kicked a ball in my life. You guys, isn't this just mind-blowing? So I want you to think about what the solution is here. What would happen if you found what you truly loved and poured more energy into that than what you hated about your ex? This can be anything. I'm like figure skating, dancing, swimming. Those are all activities like plant loving, becoming a mom, becoming a wife. For me, this became a lot of different things, but mainly like self-help, coaching, and more importantly, I started to focus on building a life that was better than anything I had imagined with my ex. I just simply got to work loving my life, building a life I love, right? I stopped spending time complaining about what he did and started looking at what I wanted to change in my life. If I found myself wanting to complain about what it was that he was doing with his new girlfriend, I would ask myself, is there something about that I want in my life, right? I recently had a Braveheart inside of the program talk about jealousy, and she saw her ex with the new girlfriend in matching jackets on vacation, and her default was to feel jealous, which actually wasn't something that she was used to feeling. And so we were really looking at that, and what it comes down to and what jealousy kind of comes down to is this person has something I don't have and I want, and it's not available to me. And so getting to work looking at what part of that do I actually want. She realized that she didn't want to be with him on vacation. When they were on vacation together before, it was miserable. What she wanted was a partner to share experiences with. So instead of spending time analyzing and getting upset and hating on your ex for doing what you want to do, go out and start doing the things that you want to do. Spend more time and energy and effort and resources on creating that experience for yourself. What? How amazing would that be? So in conclusion, I want you to think about, are you lying to yourself, saying it's easier to hate your ex? What would you be doing if you were putting your energy and resources towards something you loved? How might your life be different? And become aware of when you're hating on your ex. It's okay if it happens. The first thing you're going to have to do is become aware of it and then stop yourself in the moment. Ask your brain, what is the problem my brain is trying to solve by hating on my ex right now? And by believing that, is it getting me closer to the solution of that problem? And then look at, how would my day look differently right now if I spent more time focused on what I love than on hating my ex? All right, my beautiful Bravehearts, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you next time. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.